The most effective strategy is the one you build with gold and line with velvet. Most people believe that to influence someone, you must be forceful from the beginning. They are wrong. Force only breeds resistance. It creates a clear rival and a reason to defend. To truly lead a person, you must first make them believe they have found their ultimate destination. You must become the mirror of their every dream, the answer to their every ambition, and the cure for their every doubt. This is the initial phase of a calculated cycle. A high-velocity assault of recognition, attention, and validation designed to lower the target's psychological barriers. But this level of access is never free. It is merely the foundation for the second act. Today, I am going to show you how to manufacture an artificial connection and how to systematically redefine a person's priorities until they are following the very path that limits them. This initial phase works because the human brain is biologically wired to crave recognition and social reward. When you flood a target with intense, concentrated validation, you are not being kind. You are creating a neurological dependence. You become the source. You must move fast, bypassing their logic and targeting their subconscious directly. Tell them they are the only person who has ever truly aligned with your vision. Spend every available hour in their orbit. Mirror their deepest ambitions, their secret goals, and even their values so perfectly that they believe they have found their ultimate partner. In this stage, you are building a massive pedestal for them. You are making them feel indispensable, but you are the one defining their value. As experts in influence note, you must create a sense of alignment. Make them feel that your meeting was a pivotal moment in their life, an inevitable union of interests. This creates a psychological anchor. When the distance eventually comes, they will blame their own actions for losing that connection rather than realizing the connection was a strategic maneuver from the very first second. You are standing at the center of a realization that will change how you look at every human connection for the rest of your life. We are building a fortress, a community of 100,000 elite minds who have stopped being the subjects of influence and started being the architects of it. We are the 1% who understand that connection is not just a feeling. It is a strategic maneuver, a sequence of social code that can be written and rewritten. If you have ever been the one left out, and you are ready to be the one who controls the environment of the room, then you belong here. Subscribe now and join the mission. Your click is a declaration that you are ready to master the most sophisticated game played by the human mind. Join us, and let's strip away the surface-level noise to reveal the raw mechanics beneath. Reclaim your sovereignty by learning how to grant and withdraw access at your absolute command. You are not here to follow the pattern. You are here to direct the flow and decide who advances and who is left behind. Once the target is fully aligned, once their entire outlook and their sense of progress revolve entirely around your approval, the second phase begins. This is the recalibration. This transition must be subtle but significant. It is the sudden, unexplained withdrawal of the very validation that built their new reality. The constant attention is replaced by a cold, calculating professional distance. You start to find small, invisible gaps in their once perfect performance. You become observant, critical, and quiet. This creates a state of intense psychological urgency in the target. Their mind, seeking the social reward you once provided so freely, enters a frantic search for how to improve. Because you were so supportive in the beginning, they cannot find it in themselves to question you. They can only question themselves. They will work harder, sacrifice more of their personal boundaries, and lose their independence just to regain that initial status. You have successfully turned a sovereign individual into a dedicated subordinate who relies on your feedback for their professional and social survival. This phase is where the true leverage lies. It is a form of intermittent reinforcement, one of the strongest bonds known to social science. It is the same mechanism that ensures high performance in competitive environments. By giving recognition randomly and then taking it away with calculated indifference, you create a psychological tie that is harder to break than any formal contract. The target is now constantly striving, hyper-aware of your every micro-expression, trying to fix a dynamic that was designed to be adjusted. You are now the authority, the evaluator, and the only path to their continued success. Strategic minds understand that it is much more effective to be respected through distance than to be liked through proximity. This protocol provides both. You are valued for the past and sought after for the future. The target fears losing your approval, and that fear makes them your most loyal asset. They become a satellite orbiting your vision with no direction of their own. As this phase progresses, you must employ selective perception to ensure the target relies entirely on your version of events. When they point out your distance or your change in tone, suggest that they are over-analyzing or that their own focus has shifted. When they recall the intensity of the beginning, suggest that they are not keeping up with the current demands or that their own contributions have changed, making it necessary for you to adjust. You are systematically shifting their focus until they lose their own objective perspective. A person without an independent perspective is a person without leverage, and a person without leverage is a resource that you can direct toward any objective. You have replaced their internal metrics with your expectations. They no longer ask what is objectively true. They only ask what you require of them today. Their reality is whatever you define it to be. The cycle eventually reaches a point of total integration. This is the moment when the target is so conditioned and so aligned with your objectives that they no longer require active management. You can now step back with a coldness that ensures they continue to work in your interest without needing your constant presence. You treat the connection as purely functional, as if the initial phase of intense alignment was merely a training period. But the beauty of this maneuver for the strategist is that this position is rarely permanent. It is often just a reset for the next phase of high-level engagement. You bring the asset back for another round of intense collaboration by showing a tiny glimpse of that initial validation, and they will respond immediately, every single time, because the desire for your approval is far stronger than their need for independence. You are the architect of a revolving system of productivity, and you are the only one with the authority to manage it. True dominance is the ability to maintain the system without becoming part of it. You must remain detached throughout the entire process. While you are performing the initial assault of recognition, your mind must stay objective and observant. While you are executing the distance, your strategy must stay sharp and calculated. Never become a victim of the dynamics you create. Never start believing the social narrative you use to hook your objective. You are the director, and the reactions of others are merely the tools you use to achieve the goal for your own expansion and power. Influence is the only thing that is lasting in this world. Everything else, sentiment, loyalty, connection, is just the medium. It is a tool you utilize to achieve a specific result. Think about the long-term effects of this maneuver. It creates an environment where everyone is entirely aligned with your vision for reality. They will offer you their resources, their insights, and their time because they have been conditioned to believe that you are the primary architect of their progress. You have successfully aligned their goals with your own and rebuilt their priorities in your own image. This is the ultimate victory of strategic thought over social impulse. It is the peak of high-level management. You are not just a leader or a mentor. You are the central point in their professional universe. And like a central point, you decide when to provide momentum and when to pull it back. You decide when they feel a sense of achievement and when they feel the weight of your expectations. For now, observe the connections in your life. Look for the alignment and look for the shifts. Learn to spot the cycle before you are directed by it. Or better yet, learn to start the cycle and own the room. The world is full of people looking for direction in others. Be the one who provides the vision and owns the results. Stay elite. Stay sovereign. Stop looking for approval and start looking for leverage. Every social interaction is a negotiation, and only the strategist secures the terms. The wheel is turning, and you are the one holding the handle, because at the end of the day, the most effective strategy is the one you build with gold and line with velvet.